You know, your natural gifts and talents are your gateway to self-discovery. They're your greatest vehicle or medium for discovering your destiny and your purpose. And I say that because your destiny and your purpose are going to change over time, or your understanding. Your destiny is not going to change, but your ability to see it and define it and understand it and embrace it is going to evolve over time. You're going to mature and you're going to come to certain conclusions about who you are and what you're here to do through time and experience. Okay. Now, your natural gifts and talents tend to stay the same, though. You're born with something, and it's through your ability to apply that something and realize the kinds of doors it opens up for you, and it can only open up those doors for you, that you come to appreciate, oh, this is who I am. Okay, it isn't that I am my natural gifts and talents. It is what my natural gifts and talents do to me, how they transform my consciousness and allow me to transform my environment. That's how you come to understand and appreciate your destiny, right? It's through relationship. It's through activity. It's through the experience, all right? Now, your natural gifts and talents, as much as they work for you and as inseparable they are from your destiny and your fulfillment, they also can become a tremendous liability. They can make huge, huge, huge problems for you and other people if you don't know how to use them. So if you overly rely upon them, for example, you find that your natural gifts and talents create all kinds of problems. All kinds of problems. And for that reason, you've got to be measured about implementing your natural gifts and talents. Now, this is true for an individual, but it's also true for a collective, right? Because you get within different collectives, within different ethnic groups, for example, kind of a cluster of natural gifts and talents. You get people whose talents tend to fall within this spectrum, within this range, okay? And so when I think about African Americans, for example, and I think African people in general, but I know my people better than the other members of the family. So I can say with a high level of confidence that African Americans have a natural predisposition towards and a natural talent for spirituality, right? It's something that is partly innate, and then also is something that within our culture we reinforce. We make sure that our spirituality is at the top of mind. It's you know what I mean? We lead with our spiritual gifts and our spiritual capacities, and we rely upon them very heavily. But you can see how it starts to become problematic when we overly rely upon our religiosity. We overly depend upon our spirituality, right? And we think that every problem that we have is going to be solved through spiritual media. And that is not the case, right? So over the years and the decades of working with my people, East Coast, West Coast, North, South, everywhere in between, what I've come to understand is that a lot of our delayed, a lot of the things that slowed down our ability to fulfill ourselves personally and collectively has to do with the fact that we overly depend on religion and spirituality, whatever you call it. Okay. And so I want to share with you a few things that I know you are depending upon spirituality for, and it's not a spiritual thing. It's very mundane. It's very human. It's very simple. You do these things and your spirituality is going to, enhance. It's going to get that much more powerful. You can manage to do these three ordinary things, then you're going to start to get access to much more extraordinary experience and extraordinary power. Number one, you have to focus. You have to focus. You prayed to Orisha. You went for divination. You made your sacrifice. You said that you wanted to have a spouse. You said you wanted to increase your income. You said you wanted to have a child. Whatever your focus was at the moment that you came and you made your petition, right? And then a month later, you forgot. A month later, you forgot. The blessing hasn't even manifested yet, and you're off to something else. See, that's not a spiritual problem. That's a focus problem. Okay, and if you're right now and you're trying to say, but that's your problem. It's not a spiritual thing. That's a mental thing. You need to tie a string around your pinky or put a sign on the wall or something. You need to focus. That is your problem. Maintain your focus. Rome wasn't built in a day. You got to keep thinking about what you're doing day after day, week after week, month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year. You got to stay focused on the goal for as long as it takes to complete what you start. That's number one. Number two, you've got to practice sound decision making. You can't make habitually bad choices and then expect to get good outcomes. What do I mean bad choices? Let's say there are two options. One option is more expensive and the other one is less expensive. You keep making the most expensive choice. I don't mean you're choosing the best quality material. I mean you're making the most expensive decision. You're making the decision that's going to cost you the most money. Okay? And you keep doing it again and again and again. And then you don't have money. And then you're coming around and you're asking Orisha for money. You're begging for money. You're sacrificing for money. You're trying to get charms for money. You're getting medicine for money. But really, you don't have a money problem. You have a decision-making problem. You've got to learn the art of decision-making. And you've got to apply it. You got to practice it. You've got to master it. Okay? The third thing that you need to master, it has nothing to do with your spiritual gifts, is you have to be patient. You've got to be patient. This is really closely related to focus, but it's a different skill set. You got to be patient. You've got to be willing and able to ride things out. You can't expect everything to just be instant gratification. You ask for it, you got it. You ask for it, you got it. You want it, it's done. All the best things that you want will take time. You want your spouse to be a different way with the children. That's going to take time for that person to know how to behave differently. You want your child to behave differently toward their chores. Listen, the habits don't change overnight. You gotta have patience and put all the different parts into place, the different systems and rewards and you gotta, give it time. You gotta let it grow. And that's not gonna be an overnight experience. Okay? And so if you're not patient, then it's going to adversely affect your decision making. If you're not patient, it's going to adversely affect your ability to focus and stay the course. So patience is really key. Now, Ifa does emphasize patience over and over and over and over and over and over and over. But there's no medicine for patience. There's no sacrifice for patience. Patience is something you practice and you master. It is a human discipline. All right. Now, if you can master those three things, patience, decision making, and focus, I guarantee that your spiritual practice is going to elevate. It's going to expand. You're going to have so much more success. You're going to be under so much less pressure and less duress. Your stress level is going to reduce dramatically if you can manage those three things. Okay? So this is something that leadership must embody. Okay? Leaders must embody this. Leaders have to focus. Leaders have to have excellent decision-making skills. Leaders have to be patient. All right? So I am looking for leaders. I'm looking for people who are committed to changing the world through positive influence. If you're one of those people, I want you to find out how I, Obafemi Origunwa, can help you take your practice and your life to the next level. Visit me at obafemio.com or orishalifestyle.com, and let's start working together to help you live the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you're destined to serve. I look forward to working with you. Bye for now. Odabo.